for life.
All right. Yes, we are. And welcome all. It's Coach Ryan and Coach Danielle here, wishing you nothing but a happy Thanksgiving if we don't get to see you personally or touch base with you here on the social. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. We're very, very grateful and thankful for each and every one of you for allowing us to be some sort of your coaching life. And it really, really gives us a charge and excitement each and every day to wake up and do what we do. And speaking of Thanksgiving, with it being coming up here, or if you're watching this live, it's tomorrow. If you're watching this later on, it may have already passed. However, you can apply so much of what we have here today to talk to you about to really any time of the year.
Yeah, well, any holiday or any social gathering or anything like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it could even be applied at a cookout in the summertime. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. At a birthday party in the springtime. At a bar mitzvah in the fall.
Yes, every season.
Okay, so just keep this in mind. And the reason I'm joking with Danielle, but at the same time I'm also being serious, mainly because times of the year shouldn't matter in terms of how we are approaching what our goals or needs are. We shouldn't be putting things on hold because it's a quote unquote busy time of the year, especially when you don't have to. You can do both.
Yeah. And on the other end of that, we shouldn't have to deprive ourselves because we're on some sort of diet during the holiday season either. So, there's a happy medium to just living our life, whether it's a holiday or not a holiday, or a function or not a function. Yeah. So we're going to go over a couple of do's and don'ts when it comes to, socializing and gathering during the holidays with food and exercise. So
can we do don'ts?
You want to do a don't first?
Do don'ts first. Got it. Do the don'ts and then.
Well, we're going to start with don't deprive yourself. Okay. So don't withhold something that you enjoy tomorrow to eat just because you're, trying to be good or be on a diet or anything like that. That's the first thing. It just doesn't make sense. So don't skip dessert. If you enjoy having dessert, have dessert. Okay. Another don't skip breakfast and then lunch just because you're going to be eating a lot for Thanksgiving dinner, no matter what time you have it during the day. That is not a very good thing to do. You want to still eat on your normal schedule. Okay. Don't save your calories for later in the day. What ends up happening is that you're getting super hungry by the time you do sit down to eat. And then you're more likely to overeat because now you're really hungry. You're going to eat faster because you're hungry. And you may end up just binging on more food than you really want to.
And for those of you out there who are all in a craze, in a phase of fasting, okay, and you think this is going to help you lose weight, it's the worst thing you can do for your body because you're actually starving your body at this point. And it's going to then hold on to whatever you decide to eat afterwards because your body is in that starvation mode. So don't think skipping anything is going to benefit you in the long run. It's not, because it's not sustainable. You're not going to continue this for the rest of your life.
And then I'll say the same thing with exercise. Don't get up in the morning and exercise super hard. Now, if you already are on your exercise schedule and you plan on exercising tomorrow, that's one thing. Great. Stick with your schedule. There's no difference. If you're going to get up in the morning, exercise, awesome. But don't get up and exercise. Say you usually do it for a half hour. Don't do it now for an hour and a half because you want to make up for the calories you're going to eat later in the day or the food you're going to eat later in the day. No, just stick to your normal schedule. Have your workout if you plan on it. Don't if you don't plan on it. But don't do it as a, punishment for overeating later. Yeah. Those are my main don'ts. Do you have any other don'ts you want to?
No, I like those three. I think those are easily relatable, and it's pretty common for what we see in terms of, how people approach this. And these three options can really lead to, for most people, as looking at these holiday seasons or these holiday events as unenjoyable because you have to do those things. And there's no one telling you out there that you have to. This is something that you're conjuring up in your minds for what you think is best based on what society is saying or what you've done in the past or what a friend has done. But this is your life. Okay. And you have to enjoy the process if you're going to make it sustainable and get something that you can continue. So then what do we do to those three areas?
So let's go back to the exercise. If you do plan on working out tomorrow because it's on your schedule to do an exercise routine tomorrow, then doing it in the morning is going to be your best bet. Obviously, the day gets busy. Yeah. It's probably not going to happen later in the day. So if you are planning on exercising, I would say getting up and doing it first thing in the morning, which a lot of people do anyway, is probably your best chance of getting it in.
And let's consider too, all right, tonight. All right, so tonight is the day before Thanksgiving. Let's consider the night. If you're still planning on doing it in the morning, what needs to be done tonight so that you can make sure that this happens tomorrow morning. All right. So that means what time do you have to be in bed by? You know, what clothes have to be put out, knowing that tomorrow's a busy day in terms of maybe certain traveling, sort of food prep. What time do you need to set up for this so that it doesn't become a secondary thing? You're committing to it. So commit to it. Make the time for it.
Yep. Another do, this is the opposite of the don't we said, do eat breakfast in the morning. Do have breakfast that includes some sort of protein in it for sure. You want to start your day off great, especially if you're working out in the morning. You do want to make sure you eat within 2 hours of working out. So don't work out in the morning and then wait until 2-3 o'clock that you have Thanksgiving. And that's the first meal that you have. So just like we said before, eating breakfast is going to set you up for success. You're not going to binge later on in the day because you're so hungry. And now you're just eating everything you can get your eyes on. So eating breakfast and potentially eating lunch, depending on what time you're eating your Thanksgiving Day dinner, is ideal. Now, if you do have, I know some people eat Thanksgiving dinner kind of in that weird between lunch and dinner time frame. You know, base your next meal after that dinner on your hunger. So you may not be hungry at what would be quote unquote dinner time around 5 or 6 o'clock, but it may have been early enough that you had Thanksgiving dinner that going to bed at 8 o'clock and not having eaten since, you know, your dinner or your lunch, you may want a little something before, you know, you retire off to bed. So, you know, it's okay to adjust your schedule on a day like this also. It doesn't have to be like every other day. It's not like every other day in the fact that we're gathering together and we're seeing family and we are, you know, maybe eating at a different time. So just readjust a little bit to make it work for you. Do plan your plate around your protein. Okay. So just like any other time that we plan our plates, we're going to plan our plate around our protein. So our protein is going to be a quarter of our plate. That's going to be what fills us up the most. Okay. So for some people that might be turkey. For other people like us, we are plant-based. So we have our plant-based protein that we're having tomorrow. Then we're going to add our veggie in. Okay. Again, half your plate should be veggies. On Thanksgiving, there may be multiple veggies that you get to choose from, which is fantastic. And then of course, those fantastic carbohydrates that are on Thanksgiving. My potatoes for me are at my absolute favorite. So just sticking with the normal portion size that you would for any other time that you have carbohydrates on your plate, which is a quarter of your plate. And actually I have one more do. Is that okay? Can I share one more do?
I'm not stopping you. You know, I don't, you know.
If you are gathering at somebody else's house, it's always good to possibly, and this happens anyway, a lot of people will bring a dish with them. Do bring something that you know you're going to enjoy eating and that works for you for tomorrow. So if you're gathering in a place,
give the BS excuse of I don't want to insult anybody or anything along those
offer to bring a
lines.
dish.
Offer to bring the dish.
And then bring
Take
something to share.
responsibility. It's okay. Like don't use the excuse. Well, that's all they had to eat there. So I had to eat it,
and the reason we want to bring this up is because we see this a lot with women in our coaching program too. You know, oh, I went here, they had dinner, but there was no vegetables available. Okay, so now we know that. Let's be the one that brings the vegetables. So bring a dish to share that is a vegetable that you enjoy and bring it, and then everyone can share.
Yeah,
then you know for a fact you're going to get your vegetables in. The other option is to obviously eat your vegetables earlier in the day. You don't know what to expect. You don't want to bring a dish with you. Totally fine. Have something to eat that's vegetable based before going to your gathering. That way, you know, you get it in and you're not missing out on those awesome nutrients during the day. That was my final do. Did you have anything else?
No, the do's. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy Thanksgiving to you all. Thanks for watching, guys.